So we have begun the first missionary journey account of Paul and Barnabas. We are already in chapter 13 of the Acts of the Apostles. Chapter 13 and 14 talk about the first missionary journey. Paul made 3 missionary journeys. We are just with the first. And as we have heard, this first journey of Paul and Barnabas took them to a place called Pamphylia. The opening verse of this passage says that Paul and his companion Barnabas set sail from Paphos and came to Perga in Pamphylia. If you have been carefully reading the Acts of the Apostles, you should notice something in this change. And there is a silent change of emphasis by saying Paul and his companion. Why? Why? Because before this chapter 13, the story has always been Barnabas and Paul. Barnabas and Paul. Barnabas and Paul. But from this chapter on, we are going to hear Paul and Barnabas. Paul and Barnabas. Paul and Barnabas. The Bible, the one who wrote this didn't just put it there for anything. There is an emphasis he wants to tell us. There's something there for us. Why now Paul and Barnabas and not Barnabas and Paul? That is why. The reason is this. Because now Paul has taken the center stage. He becomes the leader. And what does that mean? Probably Paul didn't have a good start. In the beginning, maybe he was slow. So Barnabas was all over the place. He was the leader. But now, as time went on, everyone has realized the power, the ability of Paul. So now he's giving the center stage. There is a game called, called a 4x100 relay, where the people try to give the baton to the next person. Usually there are 4 people. Usually, the one who can run fastest is made the last runner, the anchor. So Paul has become the anchor of this story because he can run faster. So he has taken over from Barnabas. Don't be disturbed if calls come your way and you are Barnabas, so to give way to them. Please allow them, because after every Barnabas, a Paul will come. Then the same passage goes on to say that, and John left them and returned to Jerusalem. I'll end here. We are talking about John Mark. This John is a very interesting character for some few reasons. When you go to the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 14, verses 51, 52, we are told that when Jesus was arrested, and there was a young boy, a young man who had linen cloth around him, who was following. And then when they tried to seize him, what did he do? He ran away and he ran away naked and left his clothes there. Some Bible scholars think that this is the same John who has appeared here. He always runs away when there is work to be done. So what do we see? Here, when Paul and Barnabas took him on the journey, after 1 year on the journey, because the missionary journey, this one lasted for 3 years. After just 1 year, he said, I'm going back. I can't continue again. And he left. We shall hear in chapter 15 that Paul wasn't happy with the decision. Because when they went for the second missionary journey, he said, no, this Barnabas wanted to bring along this same boy. He says, no, I don't need him. And this brought division. And Paul has to take another person called Silas. And Barnabas still took this man, John Mark. See, before every John Mark can become a John Mark, he needs a Barnabas. Paul gave up on him, but this Barnabas didn't. Barnabas gave him a second chance. And what did he do? We are told that, again, Paul in his later life, that when he had grown, he asked that Mark should be brought to him because he was helpful in his ministry. 2 Timothy chapter 4. So this man, John Mark, had a very bad start. He couldn't go on, yet he came back to rewrite his story. You can be a John Mark. You may have made mistakes in your past life, and you think that is over. No, it is not. Because every John Mark has a Barnabas on his way. I pray that we have the Barnabases to come there to encourage us. People can be patient with us and encourage us. With every Barnabas coming your way as a John Mark, you are sure to make it. What is beautiful about this same John Mark is that later on, he wrote the gospel according to Mark. See that? Even if he couldn't walk to preach Jesus, he has written to preach Jesus. Every John Mark has a Barnabas, and every John Mark has a future. Amen.